Thank you. Please be seated, everyone. Oh, there is O Canada. Thank you, Councillor Henry. Thank you. Please be seated. I'm Deputy Mayor Sterling Lee. Mayor Collier is still at the police board meeting, so I'll be chairing this meeting until he arrives. This meeting of Ajax Council is being held in a hybrid meeting format with virtual and in-person participation by members of the public, staff, and council. This meeting is also being live streamed and may be viewed online at ajax.ca/live. A friendly reminder to all participants to please use their microphone at all times for the benefit of those participating in council chambers and joining remotely. I'll now call this meeting to order. Are there any members with disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Oh, the land acknowledgement. I apologize. We'd like to begin this meeting by acknowledging the land on which we gather is situated within the traditional and treaty territories of the Mississaugas. More specifically, the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, signatories of the Gunshot Treaty of 1788 and the Williams Treaty of 1923. This land is and will continue to be home to the Indigenous peoples. Let us acknowledge the mistakes and traumas of the past through authenticity and support truth and reconciliation. Let us engage and celebrate Indigenous communities by being leaders of action in acknowledging the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples and the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's recommendations towards truth and reconciliation. Let us keep these principles close as we continue towards truth and reconciliation and as we move forward with kindness and respect as a community. Item 3, adoption of minutes. Can I get someone to move items 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3? I see Councillor Bauer, seconded by Councillor Tyler Morin. Any questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, we'll move all three. Councillor, oh, very good. Do you want to shut them off? Great. No, I think it's fine, yeah. That is passed. Any members of the public wish to ask any questions regarding the agenda for question period? That's item number 4. Seeing none, we're on to delegations, presentations, and public meetings. Our first delegation is of item 5.1, Lake Ridge Health Update. We have Cynthia Davis, President and CEO of Lake Ridge Health.
Good afternoon, councillors and staff. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present today. Before I get started, I would be remiss if I just didn't extend a huge thank you. As I look around council chambers, I see so many of you that have come out multiple times to support Lake Ridge Health, to support health and wellness in our communities. So on behalf of all of us, I want to extend my sincere appreciation. I wanted to give you an update and then give you an opportunity to ask any questions. Celebrating 1-year anniversary of our Jerry Coughlin Health and Wellness Center, and this is our ambulatory surgical center in Pickering. We've done over 3,000 procedures in this location, but what we've also been able to do is then extend procedures within our main hospitals, Ajax Pickering being one of them, and we're now exceeding pre-pandemic surgical volumes because of Jerry Coughlin and other initiatives. We've also used this as a hub for many other community activities, and I'll just share with you that we've offered over 50 training sessions for regional paramedics. Over 4,000 regional paramedics, 400 have been trained in this location with recertification or new programs. Also, if you can imagine, 3 years since we actually opened our long-term care home in Ajax, and just we continue to celebrate the success of that and how important it is for our community and for Lake Ridge Health as we continue to build this system of integrated care. Also sharing with you a couple of initiatives that are happening at our Ajax Pickering Hospital, one in particular related to inclusion, diversity, and equity, and our responsive of our hospital and our system to start to look at the demographics in our region and responding to the care needs differently. We embarked on a program through funding with the provincial government around access for sickle cell awareness and sickle cell treatment. And this is in partnership with Durham Community Health Center in terms of what we provide in the community, but also what we provide when people present to emergency departments. And in particular, best practices associated with this are targeted 30 minutes when somebody comes to hospital in a sickle cell crisis is similar to what we do whether you have a heart attack or a stroke, and we're continuing to advance this work. Also, just to give you an update in terms of where we are with the new hospital for the Durham region, which is going to be sited in North Pickering, North Whitby. Yeah, they would like that. Yeah, can we edit that part out? But it's actually, while I'm on that point, it actually is 0.04 kilometers to the Pickering border, so it is very close. Where we are with this and the funding announcement that was announced for a post-acute center in Pickering is that we've submitted to government what's called a pre-cap, which outlines the staging of this work. And we're waiting to hear government approval to move to the next stages of planning. All of this will help with the access to care and treatment that we know is needed throughout the Durham region. And for us, we can consider this part of the puzzle in terms of options for care centers and services. Also sharing with you, again, if you can imagine, I think I was here when we first announced our partnership with Queen's University, and the first of its kind in Canada for training of medical students to become family doctors. We continue to advance this program. We're actually moving into year 3 in September. So we'll have 60 medical students that are training at Lake Ridge Health to become family doctors. What's important about this year is that the first cohort of students will actually have longer clinical placements in the community for a partnership with family practitioners. And it's really important, I think, for us to promote the best we can about the beautiful place that Durham has to offer for people to live and work. Also sharing with you a partnership that we just launched, signed an official MOU with the Center for Addictions and Mental Health, which is referred to as CAMH in Toronto, the largest mental health and substance abuse center in Canada. This partnership for us is really about advancing not only best practices in care treatment, but also looking at education, advocacy, and support for system integration. So our first area of focus will be on emergency and urgent care access, building on the system that they have at CAMH, and this work has begun in partnership with them on a regular basis and partnership with Lake Ridge Health. The other, just the following week, and I know some of the council members were here as well, we announced a formal partnership with Grandview Kids. And so we often talk about bringing care close to home, and what that means in this case is actually bringing care to Grandview Kids. So this partnership is about providing surgical care and anesthetic care directly at Grandview in one of their procedure rooms, and our entire surgical team will go to that location in a place where children and their families are comfortable, and will provide anesthetic support and interventions for procedures that are appropriate for that location. We are also embarked on a new strategic planning refresh, and as a result, there will be lots of reach outs to our community, to our elected officials, as we embark on this refresh for our strategic plan that will start in 26 and carry us till 31. Our board has approved the continuation of our vision, mission, and values, so building that one system of care, you will hear us continue to support and highlight as we move forward for the next several years. Also, just to do a one plug for Durham is a beautiful region. We have many bike lanes, and it's a great place to cycle. We're embarking with our 4 foundations on a ride to support all of the facilities throughout Lake Ridge Health, and it's going to be held on May the 25th. So please come out, consider riding if you haven't, but it's going to be a great day for us, and we hope for sunshine. Also, I'll just share with you our AGM is going to be held June the 19th. We rotate our AGMs to all of our different locations throughout Lake Ridge. Last year it was actually at Lake Ridge Gardens in Ajax Pickering. This year it'll be in Port Perry. We would encourage you to come out and share in our celebrations and hear about the amazing work that people in our organization are doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. We have Regional Councilor Crawford.
Thank you. Good afternoon. The Ride for the Ridge, how were we, I don't have it in my calendar, so I'm just curious as to how that, it's like Bike for Bones that was not Bike for Bones a couple years ago, it's changed again. Is that the same ride?
It is. So Bike for Bones is one of the legacy events. So you would know we have 4 foundations that support Lake Ridge Health. And last year, the 4 foundations came together to support the joint effort. This year, they're doing the same, and it's called Ride for the Ridge. And I will make sure that our team follows up to make sure that all of the councillors and the municipalities are aware of the date.
Thank you. Along with the announcement for the hospital in Whitby, there was some funding that was allocated, I believe, to Lake Ridge Health as in Ajax Pickering Hospital. What are the plans for that funding?
So in August of last year, we actually received a $10 million planning grant. $3 million of that went towards the next phase of planning for a new hospital, and the remainder actually went for us to look at the new announcement for the post-acute facility, which will be in Ajax. But with that post-acute facility, we have a number of people right now that are in our existing facilities, particularly Oshawa and Ajax, who would be better serviced and cared for in that post-acute space. So part of the additional money that we were given was to look at services that people leave the Durham region for right now. So advanced services, whether it's advanced pediatrics, neurosurgery, cardiac care, and they've asked us to go back and look within our existing sites, particularly Ajax and Oshawa, what the opportunity would be for us to look at additional specialized services within those existing buildings once we move into that new acute care space. And I say only those 2 because Bowmanville's on a redevelopment plan itself in a more advanced stage of reconstruction.
Thank you. The Jerry Coughlin Health Center, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Is there any opportunity for Ajax Council to have a tour of it?
We would love to tour anybody who would like to come, so we can get council connected with our communications department. Last week we actually or the week before, we toured 2 other healthcare organizations. It is a model of care that we believe is going to be what the future is about. It has acute care in terms of surgical procedures we're doing, primary care, lab, diagnostics, soon to be pharmacy, and many other. As I mentioned, we have a training site. So we've actually been able to recruit and hire brand new people to this location without impacting our other locations, and we think it's a great model for others to replicate, and we'd love to show it off. It is beautiful.
Great. The CAMH partnership, could you just explain that again a little bit to me? How does that work with patient care that come in with perhaps not having the best day of their life?
So the partnership that we're embarking on with CAMH is broad. As I mentioned, it's about best practices, so looking at clinical pathways and care pathways, leadership, education, training, advocacy, and potential fundraising for mental health and substance abuse. So we have a broad kind of agenda in terms of what we're hoping to focus on. The one thing that we agreed to start with is the people that present to our emergency departments, and it's based on a model that CAMH has. It's a rapid response model, so if you come to the emergency department, depending on the severity of what you present with, you would actually be quickly triaged and sent to a different location within our building where you would have those wraparound services that really help you in the moment where you are. What CAMH is hoping is that, this is a downtown Toronto teaching hospital. They've had this model in place for a number of years, and over the years, they've redefined it and refined it to meet the needs of their community. They're hoping in partnership with us, they can see how it applies to a community setting, and then can that be replicated across the entire province. So we're really excited by that. I know our team has started to work on it together, and it really is about focusing on the clients. I think I shared with you before, a large portion of people who present to our emergency departments have never seen a family doctor or a primary care provider before they present in crisis. And this model really tries to get those connections made much earlier to avoid having to come to emerge.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Director McLeod, did you want to jump in? I think you had a point.
Yes, I just wanted to let you know that we are partnering with RBC to be part of the ride, so councillors will be getting an invite to that ride in the coming days.
Do you have to ride? I can't ride a bike, folks. Cannot ride a bike.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that, Director McLeod. Councillor Henry.
Alrighty then. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your presentation. Durham Community Health Center, you have a partnership with them, correct?
Yes.
Can you go a little bit into more detail on that?
So we have a partnership with Durham Community Health Center, as we do many partnerships with other agencies throughout the Durham region. This one in particular that I mentioned around the sickle cell management, so we receive funding from the provincial government to look at a broad strategy for sickle cell anemia and management. And for the most part, this should actually be done in the community. So when people present to emergency department, they're actually in crisis, which means that we didn't intervene early enough either on the prevention and treatment side while they were in the community. The best folks to do that are community providers that are in that space, which is why we partnered with Durham Community Health Center for that. And so I often say Lakeridge Health doesn't have to do everything directly, but we have to be good community partners, and we have to leverage what others have in order to reduce any duplication. So that's really what that specific partnership is about.
And will you be partnering with them? Like, is there any future partnerships or grants in the future that, aside from this project, aside from this specific focus topic, will there be anything else coming forward?
There possibly could be, and so I think I've shared with council before around the Durham OHT, so Ontario Health Team, and we're quite fortunate because in our community we only have one of those teams. And so any call for proposal or requests for innovation or projects that are happening related to health actually all get streamlined through that location. We recently had a call out for a request to look at primary care access, particularly in the Ajax region, as a part of the provincial strategy around connecting every single person in Ontario with a primary care provider. And for Durham region, Ajax was one postal code in our region that was identified for us with that call for a proposal. So we're really excited by that. And then community providers of primary care, such as Durham Community Health Center or other providers, would have submitted their interest to us through that OHT, and then collectively we would actually submit it to the provincial government. So that partnership is often fostered through our Ontario Health team.
And if there was, I'm not sure how this works, but if there was more than one community partner in this field that wanted to work with you, is that possible? Is there?
Yes,
No.
absolutely.
Oh, there is. Okay,
Yes.
excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Again, it's about leveraging the strength of many providers in our community, and what we really hope to do is through those connections is to break down silos, to make the connections for people that we provide care and service to, and ultimately by reducing duplication, hopefully we'll be able to provide more service.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Chair Lee. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here and your excellent presentation. That slide about the Queen's Lakeridge Health Partnership, I think it's wonderful, but it made me wonder, is there any connection between Lakeridge Health and the PSW or other health-related programs at Computech College here in Ajax?
Yes, actually, we have a strong, long-standing partnership with Computech College. And through our partnership with them, actually, and you saw our long-term care home, we do student placements for PSW students within our long-term care home and in some of our other locations. We've actually been able to hire almost all the students that come to us through Computech, through our long-term care home. And so I'm just really proud of what those partnerships have done to support our communities, education institutions. The other important piece is all of this is about recruitment and retention as well. And when you hear about other organizations that are struggling with staffing, we have actually not had that in our long-term care home because of our connections with Computech and the PSWs. And it's also just great work in terms of helping people that are new to Canada, that are doing training and education programs to be able to work and live in Durham region.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That's great. That was my only question, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Regional Councillor Dyes.
Thank you. Just wanted to, I guess, get some clarification on the Center for Addiction and Mental Health. So as you know, we've had an increase in numbers through COVID, which continues in the mental health area and addiction area. And we really need some assistance now. So are we able to get that now with this partnership? Are we able to move some people into actually getting some mental health and addiction support right now?
So right now what we have is the offerings that we currently have within Lakeridge Health, and they are vast. But, you know, as you say, there's a shortage in terms of the ability to provide service to the needs that we have of our community and not unique to us. We're really hoping through this partnership that we can look about streamlining the care different. So when people present to our emergency department, that we can think about that more quickly, that we can also pull in the other providers in the community to think about what the person needs. So it might be supportive housing, it might be addiction counseling, it might be counseling, it might be food security, a number of things. So in this model, what happens is we pull people out of that emergency space and we try and think about wraparound of those services. And again, you know, we've talked about it before. There has been a rise in mental health and substance abuse. You only have to drive throughout our neighborhoods to see it. It's a challenging problem. What we want to do is make sure that when I talk about clinical pathways and best care, is that we do the very best for people that we can based on models like what CAMH have that are based in research and evidence to provide everything that we can within the resources. But to say we have the resources to meet the demands entirely is just not the case for any of us.
Will those workers then also reach out to the different workers that are working with the homelessness population who go out on the street every day, 24 hours, and have a really kind of good idea of what is happening and with whom? Because the problem is, we've identified problems, there's just nowhere to take them, and that's the issue. And how long before, you know, it's a crisis now, so how much longer do we wait, I guess is the problem.
So thank you for the question. This really is about doing this in partnership with others. So as I mentioned, there are a number of people that come to the emergency department having no primary care access, having never presented to any type of community agency with any mental health or substance abuse issue. When they come to our emergency departments by virtue are set up for in-the-moment care. So you see somebody quickly, and that's what you want. You know, if you have a heart attack or a stroke, when you come for mental health issues, they're more complex. And so we can't do this alone. This new model that we're going to plan and implement with CAMH really is about all those other services. So Lake Ridge Health will have to have all of the other community agencies with it to figure out what's the best stream and the best location for people to get the services. I'll just say one thing about the Queen's University partnership. So many of people that present with mental health do not have primary care providers. One of the things we're really hoping is that through our partnership, so we have 60 medical students, when we're in full capacity, we'll have 120, that we would actually be able to set up primary care access through our students to actually have direct entry for mental health and substance abuse people that come through our emerge department. But it's going to take the efforts of so many organizations, and Lake Ridge Health is just one, but we have a role to play.
Thank you, I appreciate the information.
Councillor Chalmers, you're in and then you're good.
Thank you, Chair, for letting me in. I just don't know if this is on topic, so I'll ask my question and we'll figure it out. You just spoke about emergencies, and I think we've spoken before about the streams in an emergency ward. And I'm just saying in regard to your, in relation to your presentation, finding a partner that would fund so that, you know, you have the mental health issue, you have a kid with pink eye, and you have somebody having a heart attack. 3 completely different scenarios. Mm-hmm. So are we already doing in the larger emergencies triage where there's like a walk-in clinic type of thing, and obviously somebody's having a heart attack, which is not a walk-in clinic? Is that already happening? And the emergency department at Lake Ridge Health, Whitby, is that already happening for mental health issues or episodes?
So we don't have walk-in clinics at our emergency departments. What we do is everybody who comes to emerge gets treated the exact same. So you get asked a series of questions, and then you get a score. We call it a triage score, which talks about your urgency based on your chief complaint. If your urgency score is of lower severity or acuity, then you would be fast-tracked to an area that we call fast track, where you stay walking, so you don't, you don't lie down on a stretcher, you don't dig down, you stay in your clothes, you sit in a chair, and you get seen by a team of people that would be different than if you came in through our trauma bay by ambulance. So that's how we streamline the work in our emergency departments. I thought you were going to ask me, I think last year you asked me about our wait times. We're doing really well. And as I was driving.
How are the wait times?
So we're doing really well. But it's a direct result of a number of initiatives around flow and access throughout Lake Ridge Health. As I was driving here today, I got an email from Regional Paramedic Services talking about the lowest ambulance offloads times that they have seen in years throughout Lake Ridge Health. And that's really, I get to be the spokesperson for an organization where there's a tremendous amount of hard work happening. But that's a result of a lot of hard work because we want to get ambulances back out on the road. Your question around does Whitby Hospital,
Right.
so our Whitby location doesn't have an emergency department. If you were referring to Ontario Shores, which is located in Whitby, they don't have an emergency
was.
department. So there is no emergency services at Ontario Shores.
If I may, Chair, is that something that you've spoken about in the past, or a wish list, or something that, no?
I have not.
Okay.
I don't know if they have, but I did speak about, we have a proposal before government around a redevelopment of what we describe as urgent and emergency care for people with mental health and substance abuse. And we're proposing a hub and spoke model. So the hub would be in our Oshawa location, and we would have 6 spokes. Ajax Pickering would be one of them, where we're trying to quickly see people and get them streamlined to this level of care and service.
Got it.
And our proposal, like over this past week, I think you might have seen the mayor of Oshawa speak about this. That is directly related to the proposal we've had before government related to changing services.
Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your presentation, for your answers to my questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Just one question on my side regarding wait times. So what is the like you said, it's improved year over year. What was it then? What is it now?
So off the top of my head, I'm sorry, Councillor Lee, I don't have that. If you go on Lake Ridge Health websites, you'll be able to see the wait times that we have
The
for all of-
real-time ones, yeah.
Real time. And that was through a partnership with Durham College and Ontario Tech, where we apply advanced technology to predict how long people are going to have to wait. And then we validated the accuracy of that on a regular basis. The real wait times year over year, I can actually get that information sent to you. One of the other things to think about is also our volumes that have increased year over year as well, but I'm happy to share that information.
And then what is the secret sauce to alleviating wait times at our emergency departments? Is it a staffing issue? Is it a funding issue? Is it mental health diversion? You know, you are the CEO, you are the expert in this field, so to speak. And it's a question that we actually get more of than you think. They think the Ajax Hospital is under our purview. Oh, I've been waiting. I get the tweets all the time, been waiting for 3, 4, 5 hours. So, but what is the answer then? How do we alleviate these wait times?
So what I would say is the emergency department is like the front door of your house.
It's a mess.
Well,
My
you know,
house is, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure what your house is like, but I can tell you that as a CEO of Lake Ridge Health, I take great comfort in the care and service that we provide. And I know that when you come to Lake Ridge Health with an emergency, you actually get seen within the recommended time. And we track that information. We have to report it provincially in terms of how well we're doing. People that can wait do wait. And so oftentimes when we get criticism around the wait times, it is associated with people that come in with that lesser acuity that I talked about that are deemed appropriate to wait. Again, for me, the thing that I know I sleep well at night is because if you come in a true emergency, you get seen really quickly. And so when I say the front of the house, it's because it's a symptom of what's happening. So what's happening in the community? Do people have access to primary care? And so that's a complex problem. We talked about we're trying to solve it with our partnership with Queen's University. The provincial government is trying to solve it with now the work that Dr. Jane Philpott is going to do around connecting every single person with a primary care provider, whether that's a physician or a nurse practitioner. And Ajax has been identified in the first cohort based on the number of people within a postal code that don't have access to a primary care provider. So that's really good news. They're looking at the evidence to make decisions around where these clinics need to be developed. And so for all of Lake Ridge Health, Durham Region, In the first cohort, it was only one, and it was in Ajax, and I can share that postal code because that's probably what you're going to ask me next.
No, actually, I was going to ask, what is the provincial average then for wait times?
I
Yeah,
don't.
sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. How about next? Please email us because I think it's information we'd love to share with our residents. But also for next year, because you do this annually, I'd love to kind of get the year over year because I do think it is a good news story we should be sharing. And instead of focusing on the negative, we are saving lives at the end of the day, and the non-emergency ones will be taken care of in due time. So I don't want to belabor the point. Thank you so much for coming in. Seeing no more questions, we'll move on. Thank you again.
So thank you, and I will say you can come out and you can walk. You don't need to ride your bike. It's actually not a race. It's just for fun, and Durham is a great place to walk or ride, so please come out and join us.
Thank you. I'll definitely try to make it out.
Thank you.
Perfect. So we're on to item delegations 5.2, Love Crescent Parking. We have Anne Marie Canada, Ajax resident, to speak. On the microphone, there's a button. If you could just press that button, and I'll turn you on, and you have 5 minutes after you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to ask Council for support in a pilot program to remove Love Crescent from the Lakefront QR parking program. We are the homeowners and taxpayers that have signed a petition to remove us from this parking plan. It only hurts us, the residents on Love Crescent, and our families and our own friends. The 15 guest passes are basically good for one baby shower or a birthday barbecue. And then we are scrambling for the rest of the summer to share driveways and running around to try and write down all our friends' license plates. We understand this program was helpful during COVID, but no one is parking on our street anymore. This is such a stressful situation for all homeowners, and we would appreciate the chance to get rid of these signs. Shane Christensen is on speed dial with all our residents, as we are really tired of paying tickets for our friends and family to come and visit us. A majority of us have lived on the street for decades, and to say that this is impeding our quality of life and causing us a lot of stress is an understatement. We understand that Ajax needs to come up with ways to make money, but it shouldn't be from the homeowners that need to pay taxes to park on our own street. Thank you.
Thank you. Do any members of council have any questions for the delegate? Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Chair Lee. Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Canada. Thank you for coming, and I know we've spoken a couple of times. I certainly understand your feelings of frustration when you are having people over and they get ticketed. Maybe I could ask from corporate services for bylaw perspective just a little bit about where this street is and sort of how it came to be, how that street is impacted by this program.
Deputy CEO.
Thank you, through the chair, to Councillor Bauer. So Love Crescent is sort of right in the thick of the managed waterfront parking area. It's in the Rotary Park area, which is one of 3 areas that form part of the waterfront parking management program. So this program came into place several years ago and essentially implemented controls on all the feeder streets in those 3 areas. After the first season, we did a comprehensive review and looked at all the ticket volumes and the volumes of complaints on each of those streets, and we recommended some adjustments at that time. So there were certain streets, largely on sort of the east side of the waterfront, that just were not generating any complaints or tickets. And when I say that, I mean, maybe 2 tickets issued over the course of a year or 2. So in those cases, we've recommended removal of streets in the past. We've also entertained requests from residents who wanted to see their streets added because of the overflow parking that was having a negative impact on their neighborhood. So any adjustments that have been made have really been based on sort of a data-informed approach, and we continue to look at those things. Love Crescent is one of the streets that generates a significant number of complaints and tickets. It's comparable to many of the other feeder streets in that Rotary Park area. So at the time of the last review, it was recommended to remain in the program.
Okay, thank you very much. And as far as the revenue generation for that program, because it's a non-tax revenue, Do you have any stats on how much that has brought to the town?
Yes, I do have some high-level numbers. I guess I would just start by saying that the program, when it was designed, was not designed to be a moneymaker for the town of Ajax.
Yes.
It's really just designed to generate revenue that's sufficient to cover the cost of the program. The program was brought in response to essentially a problem that we were having that existed, I think, pre-COVID, but was worsened by COVID, which is just the heavy utilization of the waterfront and the impact that it was having on the folks that live there. So it was designed to generate enough revenue to cover the cost of the program. It currently generates around, there's kind of two components. There's the permit revenue, which is in the neighborhood of $140,000 a year, and then the enforcement revenue, which is probably closer to $200,000 a year. So that's offenses like being parked without a permit, but also, fire routes, accessible tickets, and things like that. But I think you have to take that hand in hand with the cost of delivering the program, which involves officers that we hire specifically for this purpose, the back-end administration, the folks that are reviewing permit applications and processing them, vehicles, technology, all those things. It's certainly not a windfall for the municipality, I can tell you that.
Okay, thank you. But the program was meant to curb the excessive parking that was happening at the waterfront.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. So, Ms. Kanata, so what you're asking for is your street to be removed from the parking
That's what we would
plan.
ideally like, but
Yes.
since there seems to be pushback, even just a pilot program to try it. Like, we've lived there, most of the residents on the street have lived there over 2 decades. We know when it was busy. I wouldn't say we're close to Rotary Park at all. That's all the way around the bend. There is a parking lot that is on the east side of Love. But when I went over there, like I said, I spoke to all the residents because they were just fed up with getting tickets. They were the ones that suggested a petition, so I said I would help them out. I don't know, it's just...
Right. And I'm sorry that I didn't speak with you in depth prior to today's meeting, but I am happy to go offline and have another discussion with you where we can talk about that, because the issue about Love Crescent is, although it's not that, it's around the bend from the main entrance to Rotary Park, it is sort of right in the middle of the waterfront. And there's the Love parking lot that's
Yep.
right at the bottom of your street.
Yes.
So the concern that I've spoken with staff a little bit about, and I understand it, is that parking lot gets full. Where do those cars go? They're going to look for the first available street, possibly that has no fees on it, and if no restrictions on it, I should say. And if that ends up being Love Crescent, then we run into the same issue pre-program, where there's a ton of cars parked on your street.
There was no problem pre-program. It was getting a little busier on Lake Driveway during COVID.
Right.
That has since dropped off.
Okay.
I can tell you the number of residents that could tell you the number of tickets that we've gotten on the street that are random compared to our friends and our family, where we have to call Shane and say, I'm really sorry, we forgot to, she was just running in for tea, or somebody dropped something off. It's like all they do is control up and down the street. You don't even have 5 minutes before you have to run out there and there's another ticket. Like, it's just, I just thought if the residents were willing to take a chance, if we could try something. And like I said, I've lived there 27 years. I know a lot of people have lived there longer. And
Yeah,
if they've
yeah.
signed the petition and they want to do it, I just don't see why we're getting punished, because
Right,
we
right.
really are.
Okay. Okay, so thank you for coming today. I really appreciate it. And if you're willing, I would like to meet with you offline,
Sure.
and we can
I'd
have
appreciate
more
that.
discussion. Thank you.
Okay.
Those are my questions right now, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Councillor Tyler Morin.
Yep, thank you, Deputy Mayor Lee, and thank you, Ms. Kanata, for being here today. Question to staff. We often cite the upcoming parking enforcement review and overhaul, because as everyone knows, probably in this room, that there's parking challenges all over the town of Ajax. Ward 2 is very, has some real challenges. So is anybody on staff can give me an if and when on a parking study or when we might see that? Is it just something that we're talking about, or?
Through the chair to Councillor Tyler Morin, I think that's scheduled for 2026 for us to do the parking master plan.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Seeing no other questions from council, thank you very much. Council, if it's okay, I'm going to move up the correspondence just so that these residents, if they don't want to stick around, they don't have to. So right now we have a petition in relation to parking on Love Crescent Ajax. This is just the petition. Can I get a mover or seconder, please? See, moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Tyler Morin. Now you guys have some options. You can receive the petition for information, refer to staff, or we can make a more concrete decision. Councillor Henry, what did you want to do? Sure. Okay, so I have a motion. Councillor Tyler Morin, are you okay to second that? Okay, so the motion is to refer the petition to staff for report recommendations. Staff will then report back at a later time with information recommendations to council or committee. Looking at Deputy CEO Cooper, do you know roughly when we get a time frame on that?
So I'm sorry, I just was a little bit clear on what Councillor Henry had said. Is it the referral to staff is with instructions to prepare a report, or is it?
Did you want to just refer this, maybe defer this till Councillor Bowers had her conversation? Good idea. So we're going to defer this petition to next month. Is okay? Councillor Tyler Morin, seeing nodding. Perfect. Sorry, that clarifies that. So we're going to defer this correspondence to next month. Councillor Bauer, you'll have 30 days to kind of get that in order. We will start the vote then. And that passes, referred to next month. So yes, you will have to meet with Councillor Bauer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Our next delegation is National Accessibility Week 2025. We have Jim Lawrence, the Accessibility Advisory Committee member, and Heather Azzarello, Accessibility Advisory Committee member, to present.
Good afternoon, council, staff, and community members. My name is Jim Lawrence, and I'm here with Heather Azzarello. As members of the town's Accessibility Advisory Committee, Heather and I are excited to speak with you today about National Accessibility Week, which will be celebrated from May the 25th to May the 31st, 2025. This week is dedicated to appreciating people of all abilities in our communities across Canada. And the town of Ajax encourages everyone to celebrate the valuable contributions of those with disabilities, support access, and inclusion, and participate in our efforts to make Ajax accessible and inclusive for all.
We have exciting free events planned for National Accessibility Week. On Sunday, May 25th, join the Ajax Walk for Guides at the Ajax Lions Club. This event shows how guides help Canadians with disabilities. By supporting this walk, you can help the Lions Foundation provide dog guides for free, helping people move around. What's that word, Jim? Foundation and independently registered to take part. On Monday, May 26th, join us at the Town Hall Heritage Square to raise the flag and start National Accessibility Week. This flag raising will show us our community to make Ajax accessibility and individual. And on Wednesday, May 28th, wear your red shirt for Easter Seals Day to show support for disabilities, individuals, and their family. Share your photos on social media using the hashtag AccessibilityAjax and Red Shirt Day to raise awareness.
And on Friday, May the 30th, as part of the St. Francis Center's TIFF film circuit, we will be showing Patrice, the movie. And this film tells the story of Patrice Jetter, who faces challenges in maintaining her government benefits while planning a commitment ceremony with her partner, Gary. Pre-registration is required, so please reserve your seat. And to wrap up the week on Saturday, May the 31st, and backed by popular demand, the town is partnering with the Ajax Public Library main branch to host the Ajax Accessibility Fair, featuring keynote speaker Anthony Liu, who is a local athlete and accessibility ambassador. This fair will connect attendees with 20 community organizations to learn about local accessibility resources and support tools. There will also be a photo opportunity with Tulip, the miniature therapy horse. For more information and to register for these events, kindly visit ajax.ca/access or email accessibility@ajax.ca.
We invite you to join us in celebrating National Accessibility Week and take part in these events together as we can build a community that values and supports people of all abilities. Thank you for your time and support, and we look forward to seeing you at the events.
Thank you for your delegation. I'll apologize for my lateness. I was hung up in another meeting. Thank you for proceeding. Councillor Henry, you have a question?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation today. You both did a fabulous job. And as the accessibility counselor assigned to the Accessibility Committee and a person with disabilities, I invite my council to participate in as many of the events that were mentioned as possible. We'd really like to see everyone there and a lot of support this year. So thank you.
Seeing no other questions in the speakers list, thank you so much for your presentation today. Moving on to our next item, Delegation 5.3, National Accessibility Week 2025. Oh, sorry, we just did that. Next item, 5.4, Delegation Recreation Parks Month. Kevin Smith, Acting Living Supervisor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mayor Collier, members of council, staff, and guests. Thank you for the opportunity this afternoon. It is with pleasure to share you with the significance of June as Recreation and Parks Month. Over the next few minutes, I'll provide a brief overview for the purpose, benefits, engagement, and Ajax programs. Isn't it fascinating how just a few minutes of physical activity each day can significantly improve our overall health and well-being? June as Recreation Parks Month is an annual initiative by Parks and Recreation Ontario to celebrate active living. The purpose of the proclamation is to formally recognize June as Recreation Parks Month in Ajax, encouraging residents to engage with local parks and recreational opportunities. This further serves as a reminder of the value these spaces provide to our health, well-being, and community social development. Recreation is crucial for fostering a culture of wellness and community togetherness. It highlights the roles of parks in our community centers, enhancing quality of life, providing spaces for recreation, relaxation, and social interaction. Promoting physical health by encouraging exercise, reducing stress, improving our mental health. Access to these spaces contributes to healthier lifestyles overall. About 3/4 of Canadians report lack of time as a main reason for not meeting the recommended 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. Initiatives such as Recreation and Parks Month aim to provide encouragement and a reminder of the wonderful opportunities to engage in this daily activity. Many at no cost or low cost. Access including over 100 kilometers of trails in Ajax, various playgrounds, outdoor fitness equipment, pickleball, tennis, and basketball courts, plus the extensive offerings across our 3 great community centers, all to support residents get their few minutes of daily activity. This is the passport, actually. In addition to the various activities, we will be offering in June, we've added a little extra fun in form of a passport, as you see. I know the font is a little small, but just wanted to maximize it on the screen for context. Residents are encouraged to take part in 3 or more activities on the passport and will be entered into a draw for a brand new bicycle. The Passport is a result of partnerships with Durham Region municipalities, the Durham Region Health Department, and Durham Tourism, aiming to use our collective energies to provide a greater outreach to our respective communities. Through the Health Department, Healthy Living nurses will be promoting Junas at every school in Durham Region. In addition, the Health Department and Tourism have provided creative materials in the host for the Passport online page, along with our own amazing marketing team. The Passport, as I mentioned, just to give context of how many free activities will be hosted through Durham Region municipalities. Each activity on this Passport is linked back to the municipality's homepage and will provide further details on those activities. In Ajax, residents are encouraged to participate in additional free activities for all ages throughout June. Access to a calendar of activities and a link to the Durham Region Passport can be accessed at ajax.ca/recreation month. We have listed daily activities for residents to navigate, some organized and some on their own. Highlighted activities include Durham Pride Parade, National Health and Fitness Day, Recreation Programs Free Drop-In Week for all ages, and these include cricket, badminton, basketball, and pickleball, free public swims, Zumba in the park, yoga by the lake, netball, squash 57, and rounding off a trail fest on June 22nd. We encourage residents to take full advantage of these awesome programs. Try something new or keep with their favorites and collectively help move Ajax to the most active, healthy, and vibrant community. In conclusion, recognizing June as Recreation and Parks Month is an opportunity to celebrate the value of parks and recreation in our community. By engaging residents and supporting initiatives, we can enhance the quality of life for all Ajax residents. Every effort counts in enhancing community life. We request Council officially proclaim June 2025 as Recreation and Parks Month in the town of Ajax. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Before I do the proclamation, does any member of council have any questions on the presentation? Okay. Hearing, seeing none. Oh, you showed up after. There you go. Councilor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for being here and your excellent presentation. Really appreciate it. Shout out to what you and your team do, because we often, as residents, maybe take it for granted a little bit that we can always find something to do. But it does take some good preparation and planning to pull that off. So thank you very much. Can you talk about, I love that Passport and all of the free events that are happening. Maybe can you just talk, how do you come up with that? Like, do all the municipalities meet and decide what they're going to do, or how does that work?
Yes, through the mayor, Councillor Bauer. Yes, our 7 fellow Durham Region municipalities, along with Durham Public Health, or Health Department, and Durham Tourism, we pulled in for this year to help leverage their outreach in terms of the region and profile the events. And we brainstorm. We've worked well together before on a program called the Grade 5 Action Pass, which we've been doing. We offer free access for swim and skate for grade 5 students throughout the Durham region. And that's going on maybe about 15 years now, so it's proven to be a very successful program. So just leveraging and building off that for the Juniors Passport.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much. I will be one of the terrible Zumba dancers and yoga practicers at the outdoor events. Have done it in the past, and it's absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much. Those are my questions, Mayor Collier.
Thank you. Just to be clear, I will not.
Second.
Seeing no one else in the speaker list, no other questions, I do have a proclamation here. The Corporation of the Town of Ajax hereby proclaims June 2025 as June as Recreation and Parks Month, presented on behalf of myself and council, May 20th, 2025 today. I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor Collier, members of council, town staff, and Ajax residents. Thank you for welcoming us here today. My name is Maninder Nahar, and I'm one of the community recreation coordinators with the Recreation and Culture Department, overseeing the older adults and seniors portfolio. Today, we have members from the Recreation Culture Older Adult Task Force who will be leading the presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy. June 2025 marks the 41st anniversary of Seniors Month in Ontario, which we have coined as Aging Well Month. During the month of June, we recognize the role that older adults and seniors play in our community and the contributions of their time and talents that add to the vibrancy of our community, and the importance of being leaders and mentors to our younger generations.
Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. My name is Nadia. And to celebrate Aging Well Month, the Town of Ajax and the Ajax Public Library have put together a number of free activities taking place throughout June, including the popular free Seniors Barbecue, which will be held on Thursday, June the 12th. We'd like to mention our appreciation to the Ministry of Seniors and Accessibility for their ongoing support through the Seniors Active Living Center funding. Their support of the ministry has allowed us to offer many programs, events, and services, including those during Aging Well Month. It should be noted that these programs are all free to participate to those ages 55 and up, and for this we are very thankful. And I'm speaking on behalf of all the seniors that participate in these events. I'm happy to share all the great things we've planned for June. It's
Sorry,
important.
One second, we're just having some technical difficulties. Have you got that sorted? There we go. Thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. I'll go back to, I am happy to share all the great things that we have planned for June. It is important to continue to connect with our older adult and seniors population. Activities planned during the Aging Well Month will be a mix of virtual activities as well as traditional in-person events and workshops. And this will allow residents the opportunity to participate online, or they can visit in person at one of our facilities. And Patricia will fill you in on the activities that will be offered again. And just a reminder that these activities are all free. So on behalf of the seniors, the council, and whoever is influential with the funding, we thank you all. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Patricia, and I am happy to be here today to proclaim June as Aging Well Month in Ajax. We have a full month of activities planned, and we are excited to bring some popular events back to Ajax. Friday afternoon piano with Ajax's own Paul Butler. Workshops such as line dancing, art, cooking, a throwback trivia night, and the Living Library event, plus many more. Registration for some of these activities is required. Registration opens tomorrow on Wednesday, May 21st at 9 a.m. Full details about the information shared today can be found on the Ajax website, ajax.ca/AgingWellMonth 2025, or ajaxlibrary.ca. A physical copy of the activities is available at the information desk at any of the community centers or library branches. Staff at those locations will be able to assist anyone with registering for these programs.
Before we close out, I just want to say thank you to our volunteers. You know, they're always helping at our events, during their free time, and we really want to appreciate them and just want you guys to know that your hard work is not unnoticed. So thank you everyone for your time today. We respectfully request that June 2025 be proclaimed as Aging Well Month.
Thank you. We have a couple of questions. Councillor Crawford, you were first.
Thank you. Thank you. Some of the most fun that I have is you teaching me how to line dance. And I know you do too. I come for the sport for you. I want to thank you for all your hard work. In the north, sometimes we have seniors come into our community meetings that actually aren't aware of some of the things. It's hard to believe. But is there you said the flyers are at the community centers? Is that the list of the events? Because we have a community meeting coming up in, I think, next week. And we would love to have those so that we can hand them out to make sure all of the people know about this.
Through the chair to
Not
Councillor
seniors,
Crawford.
aging well. We're all aging well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, yeah.
We can arrange to have printed copies for any of the ward meetings that are coming up.
That would be amazing. Thanks, Moninder. Appreciate that.
Okay, Councillor Lee.
For people to sign up for these events, is there a minimum age required, or anybody can sign up?
You can.
No, I'm saying for the events for tomorrow for signing up.
Through the chair to Councillor Lee, do you mean for those registering on behalf of someone else?
Let's say hypothetically someone 43 years old wants to go to trivia. Would they be allowed to go to trivia? Hypothetically. I'm just saying hypothetically.
You could.
I would say no, he's a ringer.
Let her answer.
These activities are for those 55 and up, but we are looking for volunteers if you're interested.
I'll see y'all in 12 years then. Thank you very much.
Any other questions from members of council? Seeing none. I do have a proclamation here. Corporation of the Town of Ajax hereby proclaims June 2025 as Aging Well Month, presented on behalf of the Mayor and Ajax Council, dated today. So I'd like to present this to you. Probably council may want to get in a picture if you're going to do one. I know. Oh, geez. Yeah, I guess I'll have to. Last presentation, 5.6, degree certification or designation achievements. Shane Baker, CAO. Please go ahead, Shane.
Don't worry, I'm here for a good thing. So this is one of the things I really like doing in my job, which is presenting staff to council or to the public and recognizing great things that they've done. So today, it's my honor to present to you some of our staff who have invested in themselves through education and have accomplished their goals and achieved their degree, certificate, or designation over the past year or so. I can tell you that continuing education while you're still trying to manage a family, manage your job, takes a lot of dedication, a lot of effort. There's a lot of late nights, a lot of essays that have to be done after everybody's gone to bed or on your weekends. And so I think it's really important, and SMT thinks that it's really important that we take the time to really recognize staff for all the work that they've done in this regard. I'd also like to recognize that the professional development achieved by these staff is of great benefit to the town and the residents of the town, as we now have a greater staff knowledge pool to draw from and to help us achieve our mission of leading the way in everything that we do. So before we start, myself and the senior management team would like to personally thank all those recognized today for their commitment to their professional and personal development and their commitment to the town. So thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to call up each person one by one, and you'll come up onto the stage and receive your certificate from the mayor. And I ask that you please stay on the stage, as we will be taking a group photo at the end, another group photo. So first up, we have Kristen Aaron from Recreation and Culture, who received a business administration certificate. Next, we have Dave De Silva, who couldn't be here today, from Operations and Environmental Services, who completed the backflow prevention testing and certification designation. Next, we have Catherine Kudo-Smith from Human Resources, who completed e-learning developer with honors. Next, we have Susan O'Sullivan from Human Resources as well, who received a pay equity certificate. Next, we have Anita Raghu-Nandan from Operations and Environmental Services, who completed a few things: IT project management, Scrum Master Certified, which is a project management technique, and Project Management Professional Designation, PMP. Next, we have Russell Suleiman in Operations and Environmental Services, who received Introduction to Lighting, Infrastructure Health and Safety Association's Basics of Supervisors Training, and the Ontario Traffic Council Book 7 training, which is training that focuses on temporary traffic control in work zones during roadway and utility construction and maintenance. Next, we have Phil Spackman, who could not be here today as well, from Operations and Environmental Services, who completed the TSSA Gas Technician Level 1 certification. Next, we have Arun. This is going to take me a second. Triupathisambam. Was that close? Okay, good. Thank you. From Planning and Development, who completed the Certified Engineering Technician CET designation. Last on my list, we have Michelle Trudell from Finance, who achieved the designation of Certified Public Procurement Officer, CPPO. Further to these accomplishments, in 2024, as you will recall, the Town of Ajax began our implementation of the Lean Thinking Quality Management Program. We asked for people who wanted to step up and volunteer and take the training, and I'm proud to say we have had an overwhelming response of enthusiastic participants. It was great to see, really. For more information on this, I'd like to turn it over to Darren Gopi, our Quality and Continuous Improvement Lead, to say a few words.
Hi all. In late 2023, the Town of Ajax made the decision to begin our lean methodology journey. In 2024, we've had over 100 staff members achieve their Yellow Belt certification. So I'd like to take this moment to congratulate all that have taken the time out of their busy schedules to attain their certification, and in doing so, have committed to continuous improvement within our town. Members of council, Mr. Mayor, a hard copy of the names have been recognized today can be found at your desks. And a number of the staff were mentioned can be found in the audience today. And if able, I would like to request that they stand where they are so they can be recognized for their efforts and dedication. Wishing you all incredible success with your lean journeys and projects. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you for everyone and all of your achievements. And we'd like to ask you to come up onto the stage and have council and directors as well all gather for a group photo, another group photo. Yes.
So, on behalf of council, congratulations everyone. And I'm sure you would love to stay for the balance of the meeting if you would like, but you probably are all very busy and have other stuff to do, so feel free to get back to work if you so choose. They don't report to me, they report to the department heads and Shane's. Okay, that concludes the presentation delegation portion of the agenda. Correspondence, we've already dealt with item 6.1, the petition. I believe that's been deferred. So moving on to reports. Moved by Counselor Crawford, second by Counselor Dice. The Community Affairs and Planning Committee report dated May 5th, 2025 be adopted. Question, comments on the CAP report? No, please open the vote. That carries. Moving on to item 7.2. The General Government Committee report of May 12, 2025, moved by Councillor Lee, second by Councillor Tyler Morin, that the General Government Committee report dated May 12, 2025 be adopted. Questions on GGC? Oh, please open the vote. That carries. Third departmental report 7.3.1, Ajax Public Library 2025-01 Library Service 2025 Spring Update, moved by Councillor Lee, second by Councillor Dice, that the Library Services 2025 Spring Update be received for information. Questions, comments? No? Please vote. And that carries. Are there any regional council reports? I can do the police. I was waiting to see if there's any other ones first. I was late today because I was at a 4.5-hour police board meeting this morning, so I guess I can report on that. Just the main item that we had was our budget that's coming forward. We were asked by the region to prepare our budget in two portions. One, our actual, and another just to keep the lights on. We're not going to do the just to keep the lights on budget because that defeats the purpose of everything that we've been doing as far as policing, which is providing effective and adequate as per the new Policing Act. Our new budget, I don't know what the exact number is or even I can say it, but it is not as high as last year. But it does keep with the 10-year growth plan that we now have, both capital and operating, in keeping up with the growth of the region, and there will be more to come of that. And that's about all I can talk about with the police meeting. Questions? Oh, Councillor, you want to talk about the diversity portion? There you go. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so DRPS also released their diversity audit and the one-year diversity plan. It's done by consultant Ty Smith. You know, as for obvious reasons, I was anxiously waiting this, and it seemed like a pretty comprehensive report. There are 4 or 5 actionables to be done within the next 12 months. So yeah, we'll all be keeping an eye on that and looking forward to connecting with Ty over the next, I believe you guys kept him on as a consultant for the time being?
Yes, we are keeping, and thank you for bringing that up. One thing about this is these are not easy conversations to have, but they're necessary conversations to have. And even under the new Policing, Community Safety and Policing Act, we are required to create our own diversity, equity, and inclusion plan, which we are in the process of doing as well as the region. And our rating on this wasn't the greatest. We do have some room for improvement, so it's always good to do that work and be aware and work towards improvement.
So yeah, it seemed the board, the senior management of DRPS was really on board with this. So looking forward to having a conversation a year from now, highlighting all the positive steps they've taken. Thank you, Chair.
You're very welcome, Councillor Crawford. You are next.
I don't have a question about the police board. Can I just do finance?
Sure.
Okay. One thing I just wanted to bring up with finance was that there was a report on the wind down of the regional revitalization program rescinding the redundant Pickering Casino Reserve Fund bylaw, which I had to ask why it was redundant. And yeah, no, they are, but apparently the money that is coming in is flowing directly from Pickering to housing and homelessness, and not hitting the reserve at all. So it's all the money that they're getting from the Pickering Casino is going into this department. And they had the reserve, and it was capped at $6 million, I think it was, and they have never yet reached that amount of money. It's been roughly around $3 million. So they haven't had the need for the reserve, and the money just flows directly into housing and homelessness. So I just had to ask the question, And I don't know if that was of any interest to anyone, because I was wondering why it was being rescinded.
I believe there's also a time limit on how long the region receives those funds.
They didn't get in, there probably is, but they didn't get into that. It was just basically why they were getting rid of the
Yeah,
reserve.
it's not a forever. I think might be 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then at committee of the whole, did you want to talk about our motion? Do you want to talk about the motion? Yeah.
No, you're third down the list.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, I'm done.
Go ahead.
No, thank you, Councilor Crawford. I completely forgot. Yes. So, with everything being, procurement used to be something that councilors can never touch because it's always lowest bid, and that makes sense. But with this made in Canada, Canada first, Durham first, it opened the idea of just like there's other elements of procurement that we can look at. So at the region, for example, I remember it was a few years ago, we were finding a food vendor, and Mayor Collier rightly pointed out, hey, Gordon Food should get a hometown discount on the ranking, and he was ultimately told, no, we have to follow this really rigid policy. So now that we've opened things up to, opening up to Canada first, Councillor Crawford and I passed unanimously a social procurement policy for the region to come back, report back to regional council and the lower tiers on possibly creating and adopting a social procurement policy. For example, if company A costs $100 more than company B, but they hit certain environmental metrics or certain social metrics, that be considered as well. That is what a social procurement policy is. So many of you know Trevin Noble. He won Ajax Youth of the Year a few years. He's with Nobelum. He brought that forward to me to bring to regional council. It passed. So ideally, we're going to start seeing hopefully some really cool ways of looking at procurement that aren't just dollars and cents, because I think there are other factors that we have to look at. So thank you, Ronnie. Councillor Crawford.
Sorry, I just wanted to finish one other thing. The Mississaugas of Scugog Island First have come in with a bilateral agreement for government to work together with the Indigenous community, with the Durham region. Have this agreement now to work together. Which is amazing because, Truth and Reconciliation, we're like, 5 years past that now. And so this has been a work in progress. I was actually shocked at how much of a conversation this began because each of the municipalities want to enter the same sort of agreement. But I think what we ended up, at the end, what we decided was that we would let this one work its way through and see where all the bumps might happen through this project, and then extend it out further as later on. So that was pretty remarkable agreement that happened with the Durham region and the Mississaugas.
Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. And my question actually was about your police report earlier. And maybe it's not appropriate, or it doesn't completely reflect it, but I noticed that recently there was some changes, many changes to leadership for Ajax as regarding police. Can you just talk about that? Was that across the board, and how is that impacting the budgets that you were talking about?
Yeah, let me just pull that up here. Because I have I've been asked that question, and there we go. So what you're talking about is, in the past, we've moved some people around, but we've also changed the sort of hierarchy in each of our divisions. So instead of just being an inspector, now there's a superintendent and an inspector. Inspector Sean Carter has been moved over to communications. He is, of the entire country, one police officer went to Quantico for the FBI program, and it was him. So we've made that investment, and by keeping him at Durham West, really would not allow him to use the skills and the training that he's getting. So he's being moved for that to be able to allow him to grow in that role. I'm expecting big things from that very big person in the future, so we will see where that goes. But he's been replaced now, and all the stations have had this now. So they now have, I'll just read what the chief said, because he can say it better than me. Staff sergeants run the new revamped CRU teams that will be responsible for community proactive policing. Inspectors run the crime traffic order management plans, and all the staff sergeants, including platoons and superintendents, are strategic planning and discipline, plus they offset the leave periods between the senior officers. In other words, one is always working. The inspectors will also be responsible for the incident command callouts, SIU liaison, and other ancillary duties. Today, things stop when someone is away. So by doing this now, we've got some duplication of roles in key areas to make sure that, you know, we're always on top of things and don't fall through the cracks. So it's just a change in the organizational structure of the force. No, actually, it's a budget neutral item because these positions already existed. It's just a reorganization. Okay. Councillor Dice, you're next.
Thank you. Thank you to Regional Councillor Crawford, who brought up the agreement that was just made between Chief Kelly DeRoca and First Nations and the region. And I just wanted to say how unprecedented this is, and it's really forward-thinking. And I really have to congratulate both sides for coming together and working on this partnership or this agreement that will not only, you know, uphold the rights of the Indigenous people and reconciliation, but it looks at new opportunities where we can share things in economic development growth at the same time as, you know, protecting the ecology and looking at things in a different kind of view with respect to restoration. So this is just the beginning. The discussion is very much in the very early stages, and I've got to say I was really quite proud of both parties for coming together, and they're quite excited working together as well. So congratulations to all of us for, you know, supporting that partnership. Thank you.
Not seeing anybody in the speakers list, I'm just going to add something to Councillor Lee's, not analogy, factual stating of the Gordon Foods example when it comes to procurement, because that was a few years ago, right at the start of COVID when things were actually quite bad, and it was for all of the regional long-term care homes and the food provider. And we had just had Gordon Foods move to Ajax, make, I don't know how much that facility cost, but in the tens of millions, I'm certain, and creating 300 new jobs, paying taxes, being a community member, participating in a number of different things. And when it all came down to it, another company, I won't say who they are, but that has, I know who it is, but I won't say who it is, that has no ties in their community, ended up getting the contract, which was a big hit for Gordon Foods. So I'm glad to see the work happening in procurement across the region. I actually had a meeting with some of our staff last week as well to discuss this going forward, and I think it's about time we started looking at these and changing the ways that we do some of these things. I have a motion moved by Councillor Tyler Moore and seconded by Councillor Crawford that the Regional Council reports May 20th, 2025 be received for information. Those in favor? Uh-oh. Sorry. I thought I was being proactive and pressing the start the vote button on my screen, but that doesn't work. So I will leave it up to the professionals going forward. Okay, moving on to business arising from notice of motion. First motion, judicial capacity and disclosure timelines. I guess it's moved by me. I thought Councillor Lee was moving this. It was me. Okay, well, I'll just speak to it very, very quickly, self-explanatory, and this is something that we've had a lot of discussion just at Regional Council last Wednesday before Committee of the Whole when we did our DRPS update, and we talked about the number of cases that are just simply dismissed in the courts, things like non-compliance for bail and a number of others that are just arbitrarily dismissed because of just the lack of justices and the lack of justice of the peace. So now therefore be it resolved that Ajax Council asks the Ontario government to action the following: expand judicial capacity, including Crown attorneys and court staffs, review disclosure timelines, and explore technology-driven solutions to help resolve the issues of judicial capacity and disclosure timelines. I do hope the province listens to this. I know I just got a notice the other day saying they had, I think there was 40 new justices of the peace across the province. Don't quote me on that number. But that's a step, but this is something else that needs to be looked at. And one thing about the police board this morning I forgot to mention was we do receive funding from the province for police in the courts. In the past, it's about $2 million short of what it actually costs us. This year is 2.7. So short. So it costs us more to do what the province is asking us to do. We're asking them now to do what they need to do and properly staff the courts so they can do their jobs. I'll just leave it there. Councilor Lee?
Thank you, Chair. I think, you know, a lot of people dismiss the judiciary in terms of like the problem we're having with bail and bail reform, as well as, you know, criminals, quote unquote, going back on the streets. And it is a serious issue that Durham Region faces. But I truly think this seems like a really no-brainer to hire more judges to process the significant backlog we've had for many years now. And I don't think they should be politically appointed. I think there should be, you know, a neutral body that appoints them because, you know, the judiciary should be separate than the political branch. And that's generally how a healthy democracy works, unlike our neighbors to the south. So, yeah, happy to support this motion. You know, it was brought up at the Big City Mayors. I hope, to the mayor's point, that our MPP, Sir Janik, is paying attention. If there's a new thing for him to latch on to now that the 407 has been, you know, tolls removed, I think this is a good one because it affects many of our residents and will continue to affect many of our residents. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else in the speaker list. Let's open the vote. And that carries. Thank you. Moving on to the next notice or motion. Motion to request landlord-tenant reform, moved by Councillor Lee, second by Councillor Bauer. Councillor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. I unfortunately saw the motion by Bradford West Gwillimbury a bit too late past our council meeting, but so I thought I would just kind of bring it forward again. Otherwise, I would have just endorsed it. I'll just read it into the record first. Now, therefore, be resolved that Ajax Council requests the provincial government to quickly implement balanced reforms that will protect both small-scale landlords and tenants, ensuring fairness in the rental market. And a copy of this motion be forwarded to MMAH, the Honorable Rob Flack, Attorney General, the Honorable Doug Downey, Ajax MPP Rob Surjanic, and the Regional Municipality of Durham and lower tier municipalities. We've been in a housing crisis for as long as we've been on council. And one of the areas that I've continued to advocate for is fairness on both sides. We need fair tenants and we need fair landlords. Before I purchased my house almost 2 years ago, I was renting and I was given the threat of, well, we have to raise the rent or else we're going to sell the house. And at the time, I did not know my rights, as most, tenants don't. And I ultimately paid what the landlord had asked if I wish I knew my rights. And I wish there weren't landlords that weren't predatory, especially in a time of a housing crisis. If housing is your primary form of income, then, I'm sorry, you should be following a set rules. And more importantly, those rules need to be enforced. And that's where the LTB comes into play. I've heard horror stories of delays as long as 2 years before anything is resolved. And that is neither fair to the landlords following the rules, nor the tenants pretty much at the mercy of these rules. So I think very similar to the motion previously, we need more bodies and we need a quicker way to adjudicate these landlord-tenant issues. We're hoping for council support. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Bauer, did you want to speak to this before I open it up? Go ahead. That's the seconder. There you go.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. Thank you, Regional Councillor Lee. Yes, I agree with all the points that have been spoken thus far. We are becoming a town. We are allowing additional dwelling units. We are encouraging them. We are passing applications for, hundreds, thousands of rental apartments. So I think we need to be prepared. And this is a plan that helps to protect both the landlords and the tenants. So I'm happy to second this. Thank you.
Councillor Tyler Morin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Your Worship. I want to thank both Regional Councillor Lee and Councillor Bauer for the width of this motion. I do very much appreciate the part that says strengthening protections for tenants against unfair eviction while enforcing stricter penalties for tenants withholding rent in bad faith. we've all heard stories on both sides. This speaks to kind of putting it all together. We know that a lot of small business owners try and buy a second property so they can use that for their RSPs or their pensions in the future. And I've heard, stories on both sides. So I just want to say I will be supporting this and very happy to see the width of this motion. Thank you.
Councillor Crawford?
Thank you. I'm definitely going to support this. And one of the things that really irritates me is both my kids rent, and in both places that they've rented, the landlord has tried to raise the rent higher than it should be. And so when they came to me, I said, no, there's a cap. There is a cap on how far you can raise, depending on how old the house is. And they had to go back and basically, like, they were taking advantage of them because they didn't think they knew the rules in both places. And so how do we, I mean, I know this is maybe, is this outside of the scope of this? But like, how do we educate new people that are renting? I know when the newcomers, the police were doing the newcomers education with our asylum seekers, they went through that process. They actually said, your landlord has these rules, but you have rules that you can be followed. Like, it was really basic stuff, but I feel like there's a lot more people that are renting now, and they may not know these rules, and they're getting ripped off because not everybody is following the rules as a landlord. I don't know how to do that.
Maybe Councillor Lee can tell us.
No, I mean, I wish I had a definitive answer. I think I went on Reddit to find out a lot of my rights as an Ontario renter. It is something that I'm hoping another agency like the CDCD or the Ajax Library is willing to set up one of these, town hall type meetings where people can ask these questions. But really, it's up to the resident. I wish the Ontario website used plainer language sometimes to make people understand their rights. This is a really lofty ask. So my first thing is, let's get the judges in place first and then get all the people there. And then ideally we can, maybe we can share it through our own town halls as well, just like a website or something, because it is absolutely important. I think a lot of, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm sure a significant portion in our ward, they rent, and it's become problematic. Thank you, Chair.
Seeing nobody further in the speaking list, please open the vote. That carries unanimously. Moving on to bylaws, I will remind council of the email we got earlier this week or last week from our manager of bylaw services, Derek Hannon. I think 12 of these are just due to changes to include the process of the AMPS, the new AMP system, so these are just minor housekeeping. Moved by Councillor Crawford, second by Councillor Henry, that bylaws number 38-2025 to 51-2025 be read a first, second, third time and passed. Questions? Councillor Lee.
Thank you, Chair. This is just a general question because, especially the fireworks bylaw, where are we able to charge minors with bylaw infractions, or is this typically to adults?
Who would manage that? Deputy CAO Cooper.
I don't know the answer to that with certainty, Regional Councillor Lee. Let me get back to you on that one.
Sure, because on Victoria Day we had an incident where people are throwing fireworks at each other in the park or vandalizing public property. Like, our bylaws are only as good as our ability to punish people who break them, and if it's a child or a minor breaking them, then I need to, if you could let us know via email what the process is. Like, are we able to charge the parent? Because I think it's important thing we need to follow up on. Otherwise, there's a glaring hole in our bylaws, in my opinion.
I believe the answer is probably yes. I mean, a 16-year-old can get a parking ticket, so I imagine they can be charged with a Part 1 offense as well. But I'll get back to you with a definitive
I guess
answer.
specifically, let's say our bylaw officer or a police capture, for lack of a better phrase, or detain a 14-year-old illegally setting off fireworks. They don't have identification. How would they get that information? And so anyways, don't need the answer now. Any email would be great. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Henry.
Thank you. So, Regional Councillor Lee, I'd like to invite you. We'll be having a meeting. Sorry, Regional Councillor Lee, I'd like to invite you. We'll be having a meeting with Deputy Fire Chief Kimball with regards to what happened this weekend. For those who don't know, there was, lack of a better word, Game of Thrones happened in the No Frills parking lot this weekend in North Ajax, where multiple teenagers were there illegally setting off fireworks, Roman candle fireworks, as weapons to each other, where they went into a TD Bank and set off fireworks in the bank, where they set them off in Shoppers Drug Mart, where multiple businesses had to close early, and where a vehicle purposely ran into me. That made everyone go quiet. Yes, so it was a crazy weekend this weekend. The police
Councillor
have
Henry,
been involved. I just want.
This could be under new business and announcements, honestly. I don't think it's to do with the bylaw.
It is about the fire bylaw, because a fireworks bylaw. I did ask about this, and Councillor Lee brought it up. So we are going to be looking at a few things, and there could be, when new business comes, a notice of motion with regards to that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further on the bylaws? No, please open the vote. That carries. Councillor Henry, any notice of motion?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Possibly a notice of motion with change to fireworks bylaw in the future. Possibly. So I just want to put that on the record now.
That's not a notice of motion.
I'm putting it out there. Thank you.
It's possibly not a notice of motion. Any new business or announcements? Councillor Tyler Morin. Press your button. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Well, too slow. Councillor Tyler Morin, press your button. Okay. Councillor Bauer, press yours again because I dropped you. Councillor Bauer.
Thank you, Mayor Collier. Monday, May 26th at 7 p.m. at Town Hall. Regional Councillor Joanne Dyes and I are having a Ward 3 community meeting. We will be having a guest speaker, the manager of bylaw services. So please come out. You can ask your questions, make your comments, and then, of course, we will also have lots of time for other Q&A and discussion. Thank you. Monday, 7 p.m. here at Town Hall.
Thank you. While we're waiting, Councillor Lee.
Would Councillor Tyler Morin like to use my mic?
He's going to use mine.
Okay, very good.
It's fine. You go ahead, Councillor Lee.
Thank you. Today is actually Asian Gold Ribbon Day. I remember, I think it was like 6 years ago, the mayor dropped off gold ribbon masks, or 4 or 5 years ago, which was a very nice gesture. But this is just to show solidarity against anti-Asian racism and celebrate Asian heritage and culture, which is of particular interest to myself and Councillor Bauer, I'm sure. So I just wanted to point that out. I guess this will be before the next council meeting. May 7th at 10 a.m. at the main branch is Drag Queen Story Time. June 7th, excuse me. June 7th is Drag Queen Story Times for those of you who have not come. It's always a great time to bring your kids. And right afterwards is the Pride Parade starting at Town Hall at 12:30. So really some great festivities coming up ahead. Thank you, Chair.
It's working.
Councillor Tyler Moore.
Hi, I'm alive and on the air. 2 notices of upcoming events. First one is the Ward 1 Community Cleanup Day with myself, Regional Councillor Marilyn Crawford, on Sunday, May 25th at 11 a.m. It's Miller Creek Path behind the Food Basics, just there on McGill. We will supply garbage bags, gloves, pickers. I'll be supplied. Again, one more time, it's Sunday, May 25th, this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. And then we have our monthly-ish community discussion happening on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the McLean Community Center. Please bring yourself and a friend. Look forward to seeing everyone there. Once again, that's Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. That's Sunday and Tuesday. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for letting me get that in.
Okay. Any other new business or announcements? Going once, going twice. Gone. Moved by Councillor Bauer, second by Councillor Henry. The council convened to a closed session pursuant to Section 239, Paragraph 2 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, Section 239 2C, Municipal Act 2001 as amended. Questions? Those in favor? That carries. Let's take 2 minutes while we clear the room, please. Warren, second by
Sorry,
Councillor.
Mr. Chair, just give us a moment to go back into open session.
There's nobody here. Just a question, since. Okay, item 13.1, CS 2025-09, sale of Sundial Pavilion, 99 Barnum Street, Ajax, moved by Councillor Tyler Moore and second by Councillor Bauer, that the lands described as parts 1-3 PL 40R 32864 Ajax be declared surplus, and that 2, the Deputy CEO be authorized to finalize and execute the agreement of purchase and sale for 99 Barnum Street to Ronan Legerman for a company to be incorporated operating as First Milestone Education and Child Care Centers on behalf of the town, substantially in the form attached here too, for a purchase price of $3.15 million and take other actions necessary to close the transaction. Comments? Again, since we're in open session, I will just say that to me, this is a good news story. To the residents, I think this is a good news story. This is a building that has been sitting for, I don't know, Nicole, when did you buy your house in there? 10 years ago? It's been there for quite some time. This was the sales pavilion. And yeah, maybe 15 years ago, we're not collecting taxes on it. It's costing us money to maintain. And it's just been an empty building that hasn't really served a purpose. I know we are keeping it in case we needed it for programming. That hasn't come about. We've done the proper research into that, and it is not a needed building, so it is being declared surplus. In turning this around, we're bringing much needed business to the community. I think it is a business that is fitting with the community. I'm glad that it's not going to be redeveloped into something of a retail outlet or something like that, that I think the residents would not like, as well as providing revenue to the town in the form of sale of the proceeds, because we did get this for free. This was part of our agreement with the Sundial sale, with the Sundial development, as well as property taxes, potentially planning fees, depending on what's going forward, and as well as jobs. So I look at this as sort of a win-win-win, and happy to support it. Anything further? No? Please open the vote. That carries unanimously. Next, 13.2, CS 2025-10, sale of Hartrick House, 120 Robertson Drive, Ajax, moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Dyes, that the lands described as PCL 272-1, SEC 40M 1793, and BL Block 272, Plan 40M 1793, Ajax be declared surplus, and that the Deputy CEO be authorized to finalize and execute the agreement a purchase and sale for 120 Robertson Drive to Frank Wang on behalf of the town, substantially in the form attached here too, for a purchase price of $1.65 million, and take other actions necessary to close the transaction. Questions? I'll just speak quickly. Same thing. This is a building that we did use for a number of years. It is not a historic building. It is not designated. It has fallen into not a state of disrepair, but ill repair. And again, costing us a lot of money to maintain, not generating any revenue, and not being properly used by the town for programming. It's very, very little use. By allowing this to go ahead today, we're bringing some much needed housing to the area in keeping with the community, planning fees, property taxes, jobs, and all the rest that go along with that. So I look at this as a win as well. Looking for council support. Those in favor? And that carries unanimously. Moving on to bylaws, moved by Councillor Tyler Moran, second by Councillor Henry, that bylaws number 52-2025 and 53-2025 be read a first, second, third time and passed. Those in favor? Carries. The confirming bylaw moved by Councillor Bauer, second by Councillor Henry, the bylaw number 54-2025 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of Council of the Corporation of the Town of Ajax at its regular meeting held on May 20th, 2025 be read a first, second, third time and passed. Those in favor? Do you vote no? Declare a conflict? Thank you. And finally, moved by Councillor Crawford, second by Councillor Tyler Moran, that the May 20th, 2025 meeting of the Council of the Town of Ajax be adjourned. Please vote. He's voting no. There you go. Thank you, everyone.